Welcome back to Better Life, Better Business with local business coach and time management expert Christoph Nauer of Balance 6. I'm your host, Rebecca Troxel, founder and CEO of Rebecca's Vault. Today, Christoph will be conducting an interview with a guest I personally am excited to have with us today. And with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and hand things off to you, Christoph.
Well, thanks, Rebecca. Well, to everyone watching, I'm so glad you joined us. Today, our special guest is Jeremy Collins with Websites by Jeremy. Welcome. We're so glad you had took the time to talk with us for a little bit.
Hi, Christoph. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
Great. As you all know, faithful listeners, the purpose of my podcast is to provide excellent resources, helpful tools, and tips to business owners and entrepreneurs. And that's exactly why I asked you to be a guest today, Jeremy. Can you please describe the time-saving value that you bring to business owners and entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm a web designer. So I help businesses, create websites that connect with their customers, bring in more leads, and grow their profits. But what a lot of business owners don't realize is that owning a website is a lot of work and it takes up a lot of time. So, there's things like software updates that need to be taken care of every week. You have to keep your site protected against like spam and hackers. And then you also just want to keep your content updated so that your website remains relevant with your customers. And so one way that I help clients with that is through my website care plan. And what that is, it just allows me to take over the management of your website, which gives my clients more time to focus on their business and spend more time with their families.
Well, I know I personally have had some really great experience with Jeremy and having him help manage my website and take some time off of my hands for things that I'm better resourced to do, like finding amazing gifts for people. And Jeremy, I have to tell you, I really wish I knew about you when I had first started my business. That's for sure.
I'm glad to hear that. I've been really enjoying working with you and Christoph on, helping you guys with your websites. And it is a chore. And of course, you can learn how to do it on your own, but it does take a lot of your time out of your day. And I'm sure you'd rather be focusing on something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, great point, Rebecca, because, what is your one thing that you wish you had known when you started your business, Jeremy?
Well, there are several, but I think for me, when I first started out, I wanted to be like this one-stop shop for everything websites. So I tried to offer everything that I could think of that my clients would need, like email and social media, marketing, and all that stuff. And it just became such a hassle to manage. So actually later last year, I kind of rehoned my services and just started focusing on web design and my website care plan. And since I've done that, it's been a joy, and my business has really, really been able to scale through that. So, had I learned that a lot sooner, I could be, a lot bigger. My business could be a lot bigger than it is today.
What are some of the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Well, I have this book that I've read called Profit First. It's by Mike, and if I pronounce his name wrong, I'm sorry. I think it's Michalowicz. But it teaches you how to create a system for building your business in a sustainable way, and it helps you create long-term success. And it really blew my mind when I first heard about it. But one of the main principles of the book is that you set aside your profit before you pay your business expenses. And when you do that, when you set aside a percentage of your revenue for profit to pay yourself first and only use what's left over to cover your expenses, you're kind of forcing yourself to spend your money more wisely. And I found a lot of success with building my business through that model. And I've been able to scale my business to where it is today because of that.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic.
So I highly recommend that book. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll definitely put that book and the title and the author in the notes of this podcast. Jeremy, what role does delegating play in your business?
Well, I am kind of a solo entrepreneur, but I do like to focus most of my time on designing and maintaining websites. So if there's something that a client needs that, maybe I know how to do it, but if I know someone who knows it better in my network, I'll refer that out and delegate that to someone else just so that I can spend more time doing what I love and what I'm better at. So I like to just kind of delegate some of those, marketing questions or, different things that clients need that I know someone else who could help them out more than me.
I love to hear that from you,
Yeah.
Jeremy, because that's totally right up my alley. And for me, hiring you was one of the things I had to delegate because nothing happened to my website because I didn't have a clue, first of all. And second of all, I was afraid I would mess something up if I had tried to go in there and do it. And so hiring you, delegating you instead of worrying about what to do with the website, that was one of the best things I did.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be scary going in and editing your site, not knowing, what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes,
For sure.
absolutely. Well, if you're watching this vodcast and haven't heard the ones prior to this on prioritizing, I highly recommend you do so. But Christoph and I have discussed the 80-20 rule, the ABCDE method, proactive procrastination, all things surrounding prioritization. So, Jeremy, how do you prioritize in your business?
Well, when I have a lot to do, I really like to write everything down and then prioritize all of my tasks, based on their importance. And then I just try to tackle those at the top of my list first. And then I always make a habit of spending around 30 minutes every morning just to plan my day and, prioritize my workload. But other than that, that's all the prioritizing that I do. But it's been a big help for me just to take that time in the mornings and make a list and prioritize it and then just tackle it head on.
That sounds very familiar. Christoph, do you know anything about doing that? That sounds very familiar.
I was just going to say, man, oh man, this man is on the ball. I mean, that is incredible. Um, I got to say, I'm really proud of you to hear that because so many of my clients, that's what they aspire to do. And it takes them a while to get to where you are already. So fantastic and congratulations.
Yeah,
I love
thank
to
you.
hear that. And it kind of affirms the stuff that I teach my clients as well.
Yeah.
Did you know that only 3% of people have written goals for their businesses and life? Are you
No, I
one of the
didn't.
3%? And how do you handle goal setting?
Well, I probably do goal setting a bit differently than most people. So every November, I tend to get out my all of my business documents and then I make a plan for next year. And so usually I set 4 big goals for the next year, and then I divide those up into smaller goals that I can, try to achieve every month. So that way, every month I have a list of goals that I'm working towards to help push my business forward. And then near the end of the year, I'll reevaluate my progress and then set new goals for the following year. And that's been a big help for me.
Great work. So
Nice.
there's not just one way of doing that. The key is
Mm-hmm.
that you do it and you do it in writing. Otherwise, if it's just in your head, it does not exist. And we've talked about it in other podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm so impressed with Jeremy. He's on the ball here with all these things. And this is time for you to give us a little bit of advice about one of the 6 in my business name. As you know, my business name is Balance 6. And the one that you would like to focus on, you said, is time. So why don't you share some tips and tricks for our listeners on this regard, please, Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. So, like most of us, I can always use more time in the day, but I found a few tricks that help me get the most out of the time that I do have. So, one of the big ones for me is setting a daily schedule and sticking to it because it's really, really easy to get distracted with things like email or, social media. So, having some sort of structure is really important to make the most out of your time, especially if you're self employed and you're the only guy or you're the only person making the rules. You've got to keep yourself in mind. And so, one of the things I do is block off segments of my day for different things. So, like I may have, the 30 minutes or hour in the morning just for planning, and then I'll start working on client work. But what I like to do is block out 1 hour every day for what's called reactionary work. And so reactionary work is work that comes in unexpectedly. So for me, that might be something like a support email from a client or a client wanting me to do a quick website update. So rather than shifting my focus from whatever I'm working on at the time, I know that I have an hour or two in the evening set aside to get to those emails, and it helps me stay focused and stay productive.
Wow,
That
great.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, great advice, and exactly totally up my alley and the things that I talk about to my clients too. Maybe I should hire you to be my assistant coach there, Jeremy.
He's looking pretty good, Christoph. I think
Yeah,
he's
in your spare time.
Well, I will say I've learned a lot of this the hard way. When I first started out, I ran my business from my email inbox, and it was a nightmare. So I really had to put time and effort into prioritizing and learning how to be more productive and get the most out of my time.
Nice.
Well, good. But you did it. And that's the thing, you realized that something was not working and you decided to change it and you changed it. That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Who are some people who have been influential in your life and in your business? Maybe you can just list one or two that you think were most influential to you.
Yeah, sure. So there is one person, his name is Josh Hall, and he is a mentor for those of us in the web design industry. And he's really helped me to grow and scale my business. Web design really can be isolating at times, especially when you're working from home. And Josh has really helped a lot of us overcome some of those challenges, and he's built a community for us. So I really look up to him and admire what he has to offer. And, one of the best things that I think you can do for your business, especially if you're self-employed, is to find a coach or a mentor to help guide you while you're scaling your business. And so, yeah, I just really look up to him, and he's done a lot for me and a lot of other web designers. So I thought he really deserved a shout out today.
Well, thank you.
Good point on the coaching. Absolutely agree with you, Jeremy.
Having someone that you can just talk to, when you're stressed out or something, it's totally worth it.
100%. I agree with you totally. Good point.
And I'm glad that the two of you saying that. And I did not pay you guys to say that. So
no,
true.
So now I know our audience can't wait to connect with you, Jeremy. How can they connect with you online? Website, social media. What's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me at my website, which is websitesbyjeremy.co. That's .co. And then also I'm on Facebook under Websites by Jeremy. And then I also recently started an Instagram account under Websites by Jeremy. So you can get in touch with me on my website, Facebook, or Instagram. And, when you go to my website, you'll find every way to get a hold of me. I have like a live chat button on there. If you want to just ask me a quick question, you're more than welcome to.
Nice. Now I'm going to have to look for you on Instagram, Jeremy. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm just now getting started. So, it's just still a small account, but I'm hoping to grow it.
Nice. Well, Christoph, Jeremy, thank you so much for the insight and advice today for our viewers. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on this conversation today with Jeremy. If you or someone you know would like some guidance and needs a coach and some help on finding balance like Jeremy has, make sure you take advantage of Christoph's offer that he provides his audience, a complimentary business breakthrough session. And during the session, you will learn how he can help you double your productivity, profits, and time off. All you have to do is go to balance6.biz and sign up for a time that works for you. Until next time, make sure you focus on finding balance and having a better life and better business. See you next time.
This week's episode of Better Life, Better Business is brought to you by CA&C Video Productions. Since 1985, CA&C Video has been providing live streaming, event production, and analog to digital transfer services. They captured those life-changing moments, preserving your history for current and future generations. Because your history matters. Visit their website at cacvideo.com. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to another episode of Better Life, Better Business with business and time management coach Christoph Nauer with Balance 6, the leading business and time management company in Northern California. Visit them at balance6.biz.